Hello, my name is Rickard, and in this tutorial, I'm going to give you 5 tips for using the pen tool in Photoshop. The pen tool is the best tool in Photoshop for making manual selections. So when the quick selection or the auto selection tools in Photoshop aren't working, you got to know how to use the pen tool. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use it and then also give you my 5 tips for getting better results with the pen tool. Okay, so to make selections with your pen tool, first you're going to select your pen tool. The shortcut for it is P on your keyboard. So if you're on the move tool, you can hit P. That'll take you straight to the pen tool. First thing to know is when you're on the pen tool, you have 2 options here. One is shape and one is path. If you select shape, as soon as you start making a path here, it's going to fill that path in and it's going to create a new shape layer. Now we don't want that. We're basically just using the pen tool to create an intermediary step for making our selection. So we're going to put this on path. Now the basics of using the pen tool is you click, that'll create what's called an anchor point. And then if you click again, it's going to create a second anchor point and a line between those 2 anchor points. And as I click through my document, you can see that this gives me the ability to make very complex shapes. And I'm going to kind of go here like this. You can see how I could then use this to select these buildings. Now this is, as you can see, all straight lines, and that's pretty straightforward. Now from here, I can also go here and remove an anchor point. I can also hover over the line and add an anchor point. I can also go here and add a handle. Now I want to talk about handles with an image that has some curves, because this is really where the power of paths come in. Unlike a lasso, the path gives you the ability to do very smooth lines. So here I've added an anchor point. I'm going to go here, but instead of just clicking, I'm going to click and then drag. So by clicking and dragging, I'm creating these handles. And with these handles, I can control the curve of that shape. And one way to kind of imagine this is imagine a rubber band going from here to here, right? So to the middle of your line, and then imagine this also being flexible. And the result you get is this kind of pull from this. So the more farther away it is, the more this is going to stretch to try to reach this point here. And if I move this point, that same angle or that same gravitational pull between these 2 lines is going to be influenced. So that's kind of the way it works. Here you can see I'm changing the length of this one here, but the angle of this one here is remaining consistent. Now I can change that by going here and then dragging, and now I can create a new line that's of a different length. But I can also hold down Option. And when I hold down Option and click on this handle, it disengages it or breaks it from this one. So now if I start a new line, this handle will influence it, but it won't change the curvature of this line here. I can also revert that behavior by holding down Option again and then clicking and dragging. So now these 2 handles are again related to each other. And as I pull one, the length of the other one changes as well. If I let go of this and just hold down Command, you can see that that changes my tool temporarily to this white arrow. Now I can influence the length of this one, but it still has its angle relationship to the other one. I can also grab the anchor point and move that around. So once you start making a path, you have a lot of options for modifying it, changing it, adjusting it. Here I can start doing this. I can go in here. I can click on this one, hold down Option, change my next angle, click here, hold down Command, So you can see the power of this in making any kind of selection that you want by just making a few points and then influencing these so that these points line up to whatever selection it is that you want to do. Another thing here is if you hold down Option and just click on this, it'll cut it off. And now when you make a new one, only the right side handle here will influence this curve. This one here has no influence. So again, hold down Option or Alt, cut that off. Then I can make maybe my next one here and try to match this entire curve with one single line, just like that. And then maybe another one here, do the same thing. And then cut this one off. And you can see now how we can do a pretty complex selection with a lot of curves using the pen tool. All right, with all that said and done, I want to go to this final document here and show you my 5 tips for using the pen tool. So the first one is, if you are somewhat new to the pen tool, and even if you're an experienced user of the pen tool, one thing that may help you is going here to your gear icon and turning on the rubber band. And what the rubber band will do is it'll give you a prediction of what your line is going to look like before you commit to it. So here I can click here, make my first line, and now because I have a handle, you can see that this next line is going to be influenced by that handle. And go here, make my next line, and I'm getting a good prediction of what my next line's going to be. I'll click here, drag, and then this one, click, drag. So that's tip number 1. Turning on that rubber band gives you a good predictor of what your next line is going to be before you even click. Okay, tip number 2. Convert anchor points without switching tools. Now, I already mentioned this, but you can do any anchor point. You can change its behavior without having to get out of the tool by just holding down Option. So here, if I hold down Option, I can turn this again into a anchor point that has a curve. If I go backwards now, I can do it again. I can also grab the handle here and just get rid of that one like so. Keep this a straight line. By doing that, I can, while staying inside the pen tool, not having to go to any other tool, I can influence how my anchor points behave. I can also hold down Command and go back and adjust any previous anchor points. As soon as I let go of Command, I'm back into my pen tool and I'll continue my path. Okay, tip number 3 is you can zoom in while using your pen tool. So here, what I'm going to do is hold down my space bar, which will give me my hand tool. And then while still holding down the space bar, I'm going to add the Command key to that equation. Now I can zoom in and out. As soon as I let go of those, I'm back into my tool. I don't need to change tools or do anything else like that. Now, because the pen tool is all about accuracy, you're going to want to learn that shortcut. Now, one thing I will mention here is if you're on a Mac, you don't want to do Command first and then spacebar, because that'll bring up the Spotlight search. So always do the spacebar first and then add Command if you want to zoom, or you can just use the spacebar to move around. Okay, tip number 4, and this relates to any path that you're making. The less anchor points you use, the better. What you don't want to get into is a habit of doing something like this, where you're just basically using the pen tool as a lasso. Because now, even though it may look like a good selection here, when you actually look at the selection independently, you're going to see that it has these kind of jagged edges, and you don't want that. So I'm going to Command Z backwards, and you want to get into the practice of having as few anchor points as possible to make your selection. And this really comes with practice. The more you practice, the more you'll get a feel for where you need to put the anchor points to have as few as possible for your selection. So here you can see, kind of know where I need to have them in order to select the entire car, but I'm also avoiding any extras by really putting my anchor points to use here. Okay, and then the last one is tip number 5, and that comes after we've made our entire selection here. So let me do a little bit of a rough job for the rest of this, just because I don't want you sitting there waiting for me to select everything. So I'm going to zoom out. Another thing here is I will mention, you don't want to be too zoomed in when you're making a selection. Look at it at about the size you're going to use it, or maybe a little bit zoomed in, but you don't want to go overboard to the point where you're, making selections of the tire tread rather than the tire itself. And let me go to here. I'm just going to cut off this bottom detail. And once I have my whole selection done and my path closed, and the way you're going to close the path is by basically making the two ends meet. So I'm going to go here, and we're getting close here. One other tip before I get on to the last tip, you can also grab a path like this with your white arrow tool, so holding down Command, and then this will actually influence both anchor points. So if you need to move a path, you can actually do that. And you can even drag it to the left and right, and you can see that that's changing the length of my handles there on both sides. So another part of control on your path is you can grab the middle of the path and start moving that around as well. Okay, so now I have my path done, and the different ways that you can turn this into a selection is you can right mouse click and say make selection. You can also just hold down Command and hit enter on your keyboard, and that'll immediately turn it into a selection. I'm going to do Command Z and show you a couple other ways that you can turn this into a selection. Is you can go to your paths and your work path here, hold down Command and click on it. You can also go down here to your selection icon and click on that, and that'll also turn it into a path. All right, and while we're in the path here, one other thing I should mention, whenever you make a path, it's going to create a path layer called your work path. And the work path is your active path that you're working on. When you're done with it, you want to save it. And the simplicity of saving it is just giving it another name. So here, if I call it car, now it's no longer my work path. And the reason why you want to do that is, let me just Command Z back to here to work path, is if I click outside of this, so it's no longer my active work path, and then click here, you can see it's now overridden my work path, and all that work I did on the car is no longer there. Now, obviously I can Command Z here, but if you've done other work and then go back, you may find that a path you took a long time to make is no longer there. So make sure you just double click here and call it something else. Then when you start making your next path, it's going to call it work path, and it's going to leave the one you named alone. And there you have it. Those are my 5 tips for using the pen tool. And just a quick recap. One is using the rubber band, which is right here. Next is you want to convert your anchor points while you're working, not by going to different tools in your path selector here. Just as you're using your pen tool, remember that holding down Option and Command will change your tool behavior. All right. Tip number 3 is holding down the spacebar and Command to zoom in and out as you're working with your pen tool. And then tip number 4, the fewer anchor points you can use to make your selection, the better. And then finally, Tip number 5 is use your shortcuts for turning your path into a selection. The easiest one here is Command and Enter will immediately turn your path into a selection. So there you have it. Those are my 5 tips for using the pen tool in Photoshop. Hopefully through this you learned some tips, tricks, and techniques that you can use in your own projects. Now, if you enjoyed this tutorial, please subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, leave a comment on some other tools that you would like tutorials on, and here are other tutorials that you can check out. I will see you next time.